Hey everyone, it's Davey from Endlessly. He said, this is going to be a hard video to make, but let's get into it. I think I should preface this by explaining why I got into YouTube first and why I'm here in the first place. See, almost 2 years ago, I think it was about April 2016, I started watching an awful lot of YouTube. My friend Curtis, who I love his videos, shout out Curtis if you're watching this, started making YouTube videos a few months prior to this, and I was really inspired and motivated by what he was doing. And he turned me on to people like Casey Neistat and other folks that I picked up along the way who were making really great video content. Historically, I'd always really loved photography. I'd loved taking pictures, I'd loved being at gigs and photographing live bands, and I started to really enjoy making film when I started going to college. And it was a very different scenario when I was making film at college. Digital cameras were not really that advanced, but I really loved doing it. Fast forward a few years, my love for photography kind of dried off a little bit. My creative outputs were mostly based in music and mostly based in sort of phone photography, because that's what I really like doing. When I saw Curtis's videos and then led me into Casey's videos, I started watching people like Ben Brown, Sarah Dietschy, Mike Seatown, talking about all that music stuff. Shout out Mike if you're watching this. It just seems so appealing. See, I've been collecting records for quite some time, probably since I was 16 or 17, and I thought, what a great place to share and to be a part of this vinyl community. The first part of my being on YouTube, I was using a free video editing software, and I used a software called Pinnacle, and it was working just fine. I managed to get a copy from a friend and they sorted me out, and I was going okay, and then it started to get really buggy, and then it completely crashed. In an effort to make this a little bit more serious, about a year ago I signed up to Adobe Creative Cloud. Adobe make Premiere Pro and Photoshop and Lightroom and everything that, if you're creative, is actually really useful digital tools for people to create that content and to present it to the world in a really effective way. If you do have any support or tips for editing software along the way, whether you have like an Adobe Creative Cloud subscription and you want to share that, or if anyone can hook me up with something, then let me know. As time's gone on, and as I've been paying for it, I'm also paying off quite a lot of debt. Now, this is the crunch point. Because of YouTube, I had a creative outlet, but because of YouTube, I'm also spending a lot of time editing. I'm also spending a lot of money on the editing as well. Because of that, I have to sacrifice some personal time. And that leads me on to the main, and here's why I'm quitting YouTube. I found that I can't really place my trust in the things of this world. While I love creating digital content, while I love to keep doing that, I don't think that it's sustainable for me to sacrifice that amount of time and sacrifice that amount of energy at this point in my life. I've got myself a brand new diary, so I'm well organised and feeling good about 2018. My wife and I work on different work schedules. I want to make sure that I spend enough time with her and spend enough time with my son, spend enough time with the family that are around us as well. When I did first get into YouTube, I spent quite a lot of time thinking about how I could maximise my time or time manage or go at it more effectively. Whether I was like staying up later, sleeping for 5 hours, sort of waking up earlier and then going to bed earlier. I tried to get the balance there, but I found the only real motivation that I've had to get up early or to stay up late and to do that has actually been to pray and spend time with God. One of my goals for this year, and I'll get into other goals and other things going on for me and what's going to happen afterwards. One of my goals this year was to spend an hour a day praying, journaling, reading the Bible and spending time with God. This is the Bible in modern language, and it's basically written in journalistic language, but it basically unpacks the Bible in a very unique and understandable way. I've been reading the Bible for a long time, and it's normally been the New International Version or the English Standard Version, but I have not really delved into it in this modern language, which makes it a bit more relatable. I feel like I've got more of a starting point to connect with God and to have that joy in my life. Journaling everything down, so I'm keeping a separate notebook just for when I'm spending time with God. I guess the question arises, what's going to happen when you next see me next. I'm going to say that this is an indefinite hiatus. I don't intend to be gone from YouTube forever. As some bands will tell you, like Under Oath are a prime example. They might break up, realise it's the wrong thing, and then come back together. I'm excited because I've been speaking to old friends who I've played in bands with before, and excited to see how that journey might evolve in 2018. I'm excited because I've been talking to people about playing in new music projects as well. I'm also really excited because I think I found a love for photography again. One of my other New Year's goals was to take a lot of photographs, and I got given this, which is 104 things to photograph, and it's just got some really cool inspirational ideas, and it then ends up being like a photo album. One of my other goals for 2018 is also to read a lot of books, and I got gifted a lot of books over Christmas time, so just wanted to take 1 minute to share with you what those are. I've been currently reading Thanks for the Feedback, which is about delivering and receiving feedback. This is something that was suggested by work, and it's a tough read and it's really hard to get into, but I'm persisting with it, and I'm going to be reading this afternoon and tomorrow when I'm traveling with work. So this is a really exciting book. This is one from last year, and this is the author that I read 2 of his other books, John Mark Comer. It's called Loveology, and this is about marriage, relationships, dating, that kind of stuff, and putting it into a Christian context and how does God view that subject. One of my other goals for 2018 is to minimalize the things that I own. I have quite a lot of records, I have quite a lot of movies, you can see behind me quite a lot of CDs. I have an awful lot of shirts, band merch to be specific, so I'm going to be minimalizing that. And I got given this lovely book called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying by Marie Kondo, which I'm really excited to read because hopefully it'll mean that I'm living a little bit more simpler and thinking about the practical things in life, appreciating art, talking about God, talking about faith and fellowship with other people in community. I also got given this book, which is Introverts in the Church by Adam McHugh. This was from my wife, and I'm really excited to read this because I'm definitely an introvert and definitely struggle in social situations quite a lot of the time, which is why being behind a camera for me is actually quite comforting. Being in front of the camera is not so much. So it's taken quite a lot to put myself out there. I think most record nerds generally are quite introverted, but this might help me understand it a little bit more, certainly in a community and faith-based context. Didn't want to keep this too long, so I think all that is left to say is thank you so much for watching these videos, and thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for all of the views on my straight edge video. Thank you for listening to me if you're just interested in Lush. Thank you for coming to this channel if you just wanted to hear about records and music and hear some guy from England's opinion on those. I really appreciate it. My channel has grown and it's not big by anyone's standards, and this might not come as much of a shock for anyone, but for the few people that did watch it, for the people that gave me such lovely feedback and such lovely comments on my recent testimony video where I definitely got a lot off my chest and definitely had something to bear, thank you. If you do want to keep up with me on the internet, some important things that you can do: follow me on Instagram, the link is below. You can check out my profile and follow me on there, and I'll give you a follow back if tell me you came from YouTube, and I would love to hear from you. Follow me on Twitter as well if you like, so that's the second thing that you can do. I don't post there that often, but it's a nice platform where we can see each other and hear each other's talking about a certain conversation. Thank you again so much for being here. I'm not going to tell you to like and subscribe or whatever. Like, if you feel like you want to unsubscribe because there's not going to be any more content, that's completely fine. If you're anticipating what might come next, and if a few months down the line, if 6 months down the line, if a year down the line, you want to be checking out any future videos, which I do think there will be, please subscribe and you'll see those pop up as and when they do. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. My name's Davey. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.